What's going on, guys? It's Near25 here, and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team playthrough. In the last episode, we started getting Magnemite some more levels. Well, we didn't really level up per se, but we got him some XP anyway, I should say. But but that's what we're going to be doing again today, guys. We're going to be continuing doing some missions, getting Magnemite leveled up, because we want to get him to about level 25 before we head to the Stormy Sea. So I think that'll be a good enough level. I think if we were to get him to level 30 and make him a Magneton, going down there with Venusaur, it would honestly make it way too easy. It's already going to be pretty easy just because of going down there with a grass type and an electric type, but I think if I was to make him all the way up to level 30 and make him a Magneton on top of that, it would make it even easier. And personally I think that's just a little bit unnecessary. So we're gonna keep him as it is and go from there. But even still, with that being said, I still do obviously want to get his levels up, so you know that's obviously important still, right? So and also, you know, we're kind of killing two birds with one stone here. We're also going to be, you know, obviously since we're doing rescue jobs, we're going to be getting our rescue rank up as well, which, you know, that's obviously an important deal also, right? So, yeah. I was doing some thinking yesterday though, and the only reason why I really didn't yesterday was, one, because I really was just feeling tired, and two, because I had said we were going to go to Lapis Cave today, and I just didn't feel like, you know, not, you know, like being all weird with it. But I was thinking about it, like, I kind of, with this being like the circumstances that it is, I kind of can just do a mix of everything. So like on top of, like, I can do some of this on screen, and then I also can do some on my own time off screen as well. Just because it is just leveling up and, you know, like getting stuff for the rescue rank and stuff like that. And obviously, since I'm going to be showing this on screen today, we'll get our rank up on screen. So it's not like I'll be doing enough missions to the point where I'll hit the next rank when that's off screen. Not that that's necessarily a big deal anyway, but we level up for Sudowoodo too, which is nice. By the way, the reason why I mentioned this in the last episode, but the reason why I have Sudowoodo with me is because he's gonna be my big help with recruiting Zapdos later on down the road, once we get to that point. So I figured if I'm already going to be going to dungeons to level up Magnemite, I might as well bring Sudowoodo along as well to do the same thing. I think he probably will be leveling up way quicker. Yeah, because I think that'll be like his third, but well, Magnemite's gonna level up technically before, but it'll be like his third level up to Magnemite's 1, and Magnemite was already at about, I think, half of his level to begin with. So that's kind of handy, at least. At least, you know, oh god. At least we won't have to worry about that necessarily, right? Actually, I'm gonna just click Sonic Boom, because obviously it'll be, the Thunder Shock will be resisted, right? So, no point in even wasting the PP. And I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, because I obviously don't want the link to break, because then I'll have to go through all that process of getting it relinked. Not that that's a big deal, but, you know, just something that I should only have to do out of necessity, not just because I wasn't paying attention, you know? But yeah, so I'll probably just to expedite the process a little bit, I probably will start to also do some off-screen stuff, and just like in between recordings. Like if I have, oh god, like if I have time to play, then I will, and then you know whatever I get done before the recording, I'll get done, and then whatever's not done by the time I'm done, or I'm ready to, you know, it's time to record again, then, you know, it's not done, or whatever, you know what I mean? But that just might speed the process along, and I might make these filler, and I'll take out some of these filler episodes, you know, because that's kind of like what this is. It's kind of, these kind of things are just gonna, there's gonna be a lot more of those, or of these, I should say, in the post-game compared to the main story. And I'm referring to like the filler episodes and whatnot, because there's going to be a lot more leveling up having to do, because as you know, your partner mentions when you first talk to them about, you know, being able to make the team up of whatever Pokemon you want and whatever order that you want, and like, you know, they can, the leader of the team can go to a dungeon by themselves if they want, and all that fun jazz. Your partner in that conversation mentions like, yeah, you know, like we're probably going to be seeing a bunch of different dungeons, and blah 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 blah, and we might not necessarily, you know, we might be at a type disadvantage, or we might not even go at all, or etc etc etc, you know. So with all that, you know, in mind and everything, like, and obviously like that's said for a valid reason, because especially if you choose a fire starter, right? I'd say a good, probably like maybe 40% of the post-game dungeons are useless for a fire starter, because they're either water dungeons or they're fire dungeons. You know what I mean? Because you got the Stormy Sea, which, you know, as the name suggests, it's going to be all water types, right? And then the Silver Trench. There's our rescue rank up, by the way. We're gold rank now, which is awesome. The Silver Trench, which we'll get to a little bit later on, obviously, that's a water dungeon. The Fiery Fields is a fire dungeon. Oh, alright guys, hold on, I gotta make a quick cut here, and I'll be back in one quick second. Alright guys, sorry about that. My mom just stopped by my house, so had to go get, she was dropping off my new car insurance cards, so I had to go grab that from her. But we're back. But yeah, you know, so back to what I was saying though, like, so it makes sense that you have the access to all of your team members that you do have. And also, even apart from that, is because also, you know, in this game in particular, and granted it's the first game, so you know, what do you expect, but you actually are only allowed to bring 3 Pokemon with you, no matter what your body size is. Now, the funny thing is you can get to a 6 body size with 2 Pokemon, of course, or with 3 Pokemon, and then obviously, you know, that would max you out. You won't be able to, you know, obviously get any more Pokemon on your team after that, because, you know, you'd be at your max body size. But even if you have 3 Pokemon with a body size of 1 on a team, or I'm sorry, 4 Pokemon with a body size of 1 on a team, you can't go to the dungeon. It'll tell you that your team's too big, which I never understood that about this game. But I guess it's because, you know, they were trying, you know, they were probably just trying to workshop it. I don't know why I struggled so much trying to say that. They were probably just trying to workshop it, you know what I mean? Like, and I get it, right? It does make sense. I actually think I forgot to give Squirtle a gummy. I think I actually have a gummy for Squirtle. Yes, I do. The gummy for Squirtle. Squirtle's gummy. That was so bad. Oh my god, that was so bad. I never was able to do a good Kronk, but that was like an atrocious Kronk. And like, I'm mad that I even just did that, and it's now on a recording, because I just embarrassed the ever-loving hell out of myself. But, you know, we're just going to completely move past that and go back to what I was talking about team composition. But yeah, so obviously with that being a thing, right, that, of course, you know, you're going to be dealing with a lot of different typed dungeons and whatnot. And realistically speaking, even if you have a water type starter or partner, like, you know, they're not going to be very good in the water dungeons, because they're going to have to use non-stab attacks that are going to be less powerful because they're not stab, and they're just going to do neutral damage to their opponents, right? Or to the opponents. And then obviously, you know, the... Oh gosh, what do they call a Raiku's friend area? Or not friend area, I'm sorry, his dungeon. What, oh my, what's it called? I know it's... Is it the Thunder... It's something Thunder Fields, I think. Or Lightning Fields? Is it Lightning Fields? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But, you know, obviously that's all it... As the name suggests, and obviously it's Raiku's place, you're fighting all electric types. Water type ain't gonna do nothing there, you know what I mean? I guess we'll take Mount Clef, why not? You know what I mean? So, you know, there's that too, right? So, like, realistically speaking, if you want to actually really get the most out of your starter and your partner, you actually... And I can't believe I'm saying this because we all know how I feel about Pikachu, but he actually is pretty solid in this game. But to be completely honest with you guys, if you really want the best out of your starter and your partner, you actually really want to have a grass type and then Pikachu. Because that's going to be your way to guarantee that, you know, those typings, I mean, will guarantee obviously it'll get you through the main story pretty easily, because where your grass type is weak to Moltres and Articuno, obviously Pikachu would be super effective against that, right? And then, you know, whereas Pikachu is completely useless against Groudon, you know, your grass type is super effective. And then where your grass type is quad resisted by Rayquaza, at least Pikachu's neutral. I mean, neutral's better than resisted every day of the week, you know what I mean? But, so, like, with that being said, like, but for, you know, if you don't have a grass type starter or Pikachu because, you know, you want to actually enjoy the game, or, you know, you just want to use whatever mons you want to use, because, like, that'll make it enjoyable for you in particular, you know what I mean? Odds are you're not going to have the typings that are going to be good for the post-game dungeons. Whereas, you know, obviously they have ample Pokemon that you can recruit from the dungeons beforehand. And also, I mean, obviously you can get, you're allowed to recruit Pokemon from the post-game dungeons you get from the friend areas too, of course, right? So, like, you know, there's ample Pokemon that you can recruit to use in these dungeons. The downside of that, of course, though, is by the time you get your starters, I should say, like, completed with the main story, they're, you know, like, mid-20s, pushing 30, if you do what I did, right? And then you have the rest of the Pokemon that exist that, you know, like right here, Magnemite, he's only level 18, you know what I mean? So as of right now, my Magnemite is 14 levels lower than my starter, and 11 levels lower than my partner, if you want to get technical. 12. No, 11, because he's level 29. Well, now 10, but you know, like, it's just because, you know, your starters had to be at that level. I mean, granted, the post-game dungeons don't scale to what the starters levels were at the end of the game, right? So it's not like just because, oh, you guys are level 30, now everything's gonna be level 30, right? But at the same time, they do scale. Because as I looked up a couple episodes ago to tell you guys when we were looking at what level we need to get Magnemite to, in Stormy Sea, Kyogre himself is only level 25. I mean, obviously he's a boss, so he's gonna have a lot of HP. It's gonna take a while to knock him out. Even, well, maybe not because of our levels, but you know, and our typings, even irregardless of the levels, the typings would make it easier as well. But you know, all the Pokemon in that dungeon are in their 20s. There's 2 that are level 30, but you know, they're not threatening to the point where it's like, oh crap, you know, we gotta get to like level 30 or 35 or whatever, right? So like, it's to the point where, or that's like starting to get you to the levels where the Pokemon that you'll have on your team up until like this point, no matter what, if you want, like, it's cool you can use them, but you're gonna have to level them up, because there's literally no way that you'll be able to make it through these dungeons with what level they'd be at. Because, like, you know, like I said, we've used oh crap, I didn't do the job, did I? That's what I get for gabbing. I lose track of everything. Oh well. You know, it's crap, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought because I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, because you know, like, we've used Magnemite for every opportunity in the main story that we could have used Magnemite, apart from Magma Cavern and Sky Tower, and that's just because, you know, we arguably had 2 Pokemon that did the job better. I mean, granted, you wouldn't be bringing Magnemite with you to Magma Cavern anyway, because what is he going to do against Groudon except for spam Sonic Boom, right? Although I will say I have used Magnemite with a Fighting Rayquaza before, and it actually, with it being neutral damage, it actually did go fairly well, by the way. But, you know, oh, that's so funny. I've never seen that happen before. That's actually hysterical. That's actually hysterical. I like that. That's so funny. And he actually kept it, just because that's how Transform works in this game. He kept his attack still. That's so funny. Alright. Wow, we're getting the stairs like crazy. No XP for me. Speaking of, I didn't check and see how much do we got. Okay, so I'm guessing it was still 10,000. Because I'm sure I got probably 800 XP. So yeah, so Magnemite is still at that 10,000 XP to level up threshold, but I want to say that once he hits level 20, that'll go up to a higher amount. Can't remember. But, you know, obviously, with, you see, Magnemite, the highest we got him was level 18. And now, granted, he might level up at a higher XP threshold than some of the other Pokemon that are available to you during the main story, which would make a valid point, because obviously you see his stats, they're literally on par with the starter Pokemon's stats at a way lower level, right? But irregardless of that, I don't think that it would be that different to the point where it's like, you know, where Magnemite is only level 18, you know, like they'll be level 20 something, you know what I mean? And granted, well, actually no, never mind, because it was, even if you were the appropriate level, Magnemite still would have been 7 levels to 8 levels lower. So, you know, irregardless of that, he was going to be a lower level, right? So, obviously no bueno by any means, right? And like I said, at most, like, you might get a Pokemon at level 20. Perhaps. Right? Perhaps. If their XP threshold isn't as steep as Magnemite's is. You might get somebody to to level 20 by the time the main story is done. But even still with that, you know, it's not the most helpful. You know what I mean? Like when you're dealing with all Pokemon level 20, like, you know, that are above level 20, like 20 plus, you want to be remotely on par with that. You know, like remotely on par with that. Which is why we're getting Magnemite to level 25. But it's like, it kind of makes it to where the post game is a lot more grindy than the main story is for that reason. Because even if you go, I mean, and so like, and even the dungeons that you can unlock. Now, I don't remember the Solar Cave lineup off the top of my head, so don't quote me there. But Wyvern Hill is dragons. Which, you know, granted, they resist water-type moves, so that's good. But they don't evolve until really late, because obviously that's all your pseudos, right? So it's like, cool, I can take a Shelgon and a Dragonair down to the Stormy Sea, and I'll be able to use my Dragon Stab. I mean, granted, it's neutral damage, but it's still stab, and I'll be resisted, or I'll resist all of their attacks, but at the same time, it's a Shelgon and a Dragonair. Now, in Mystery Dungeon, they're probably way more viable than in the main series games. But, you know what I mean? Like, the Wyvern Hill really would be your best chance. Because Southern Cave is all rock and ground types. Desert Region is all ground types, with the exception of Cacnea. And Cacturn, I think. You know what I mean? Like, what? So what are you going to do with that, right? Again, I don't remember Solar Cave's lineup, but I know there's no electric types or grass types. Dark Knight Relic, that's all ghost types and dark types, and Waterfall Pond's all water types. So it's not even really like you could go to these dungeons and get anything that's quote-unquote helpful other than level-wise. Again, you can argue Wyvern Hill. But actually, now that I'm thinking about that, they don't even evolve, the pseudos actually don't even evolve into their middle stages until level 30. Which you would most likely have, I think you'd have to grind them up to, for one. And for two, would be quote-unquote over-leveled for the dungeon. So it's like, you know, even that, so you'd be going in there with a Bagon and a Dratini. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you gotta grind no matter what, really. You're kind of in a catch-22. It just depends on what Pokemon you want to use on how much you're gonna have to grind, you know what I mean? And I mean, granted, and you could also even argue the point, like, well, you know, you have Tangela already in its 20s from going down to Magma Cavern, and then you have a Venusaur. Why aren't you just using that? And it's really just purely because I love the shit out of Magnemite. That's really why. I mean, like, if I was just doing this just purely for the interest of the series, and like for example, like if I was doing YouTube for a job, and this was my money, and I was only interested in playing this game for the series, or at least, you know, like 90% interested in doing it for the series, that's absolutely what I would have done. We already would have been through the Stormy Sea. I probably would have already, you know, gotten the birds and gotten, you know, progressed down the track a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But one, I'm only doing this as a hobby, so I'm not fully interested in rushing it. And two, I'm really just playing the game because I really wanted to just play the game again, because I love the shit out of this freaking game, you know what I mean? So, and I love Magnemite. It's one of my favorite Pokemon in this game, and also just in general. So, you know, put two and two together, that's why we're doing this, right? But, yeah, you know, as I said, I did think about it, like, you know, I can do a little bit more of this off screen, like in between, you know, I can run a couple dungeons, and, in between episodes, right, and then, come back in the next episode and continue on, like, that'll speed the process up a little bit anyway, right? And also, I mean, either way, I gotta get Sudowoodo leveled up, because, I'll probably want him at least level 30 to get Zapdos, because that'll give me, I think, level 30 is the next boost in XP, or not in XP, in recruitment percentage. I think. That I'll have to look up again, because I don't remember. I mean, either way, it's RNG with the birds. You know what I mean? But, it's kind of, you know, what is it? It's kind of, I guess easier will be the word I'm trying to think of. I don't know why. I didn't want to say easier, because it really isn't going to be easier, but easier was just the first word I could think of there. But if, oh, I didn't mean to attack. It'll be easier if Sudowoodo is getting as much, like, percentage added on to Zapdos' base recruitment that I possibly can get to try to recruit him, to make it, you know, to where it's not a full pain in the ass and I'm not spending 13 hours trying to just recruit Zapdos, you know what I mean? Because, like, I still haven't really figured out how exactly I necessarily want to progress through the post-game, like, what quote-unquote order I want to go in. Because I'm kind of just going with the flow with it at the moment, of course, because right now, realistically only have access to Stormy Sea. Hey, there's a Houndour, nice. I mean, granted, like, I know basically all the, and there's a level up for Sudowoodo right on cue as we were just talking about it. Nice. And Sudowoodo, actually, I don't know if I mentioned it during the main game, but it's actually not a bad mon once, like, you know, if you want to use it for the main story, to like, if you want to use it instead of Onix to fight Rayquaza, or if, like, if you maybe don't have the Boulder Cave friend area by the time you get to the point where you're about to go fight Rayquaza. So you get Sudowoodo instead, because obviously that was why I recruited him to begin with, right? Was plan B in case I didn't get the Boulder Cave friend area decently quick enough. Because that's all RNG too. You know, getting access to those, to getting the friend areas as rewards for jobs. That's all kind of RNG too. Alright, so now we just gotta get to floor 9, and then we will be done with the second job for this dungeon, and then I'll probably be good to call it a day after that. And then I'll do some more off-screen. Care about the black gummy. I don't. Unfortunately, with Absol's typing being what it is, and also just with the post-game dungeons being what they are, it's Absol's not really the best mon to use in the game, which is unfortunate because he's a super dope mon, right? But it just is unfortunately what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is level 7, or okay, I was gonna say it is level 9. Wow, we basically can get everything in here. So obviously Gloom we can't get because we don't have the friend bow, but I think I can recruit literally everything else. Yeah, I can, and I need basically everything else. So that's actually kind of cool. It'd be kind of lit if we can grab another mon here too. Right on cue, we get Paris, which I believe that's our second Paris. So I don't think we need to get any more Paris now. Check really quick. Is it our second Paris? Yes, it is our second Paris. Now, if you're wondering how I know that, because his name is over on that side, The reason why Houndour's name is yellow is because it's the first time I've ever recruited one, and he's on the team. And the reason why Paris' name is not in yellow, even though he's on the team, is because I technically already have one. It's kind of weird how that works, but at least now I don't have to recruit any more Paris. I just obviously would have to level up one of them to the point where they're ready to evolve. And then that line will be done for the recruit them all. Which I'm still deciding and debating with myself on how I want to do that as far as the content goes. And obviously I still want to hear about how you guys want me to do it as well. Because if it's just stream it on Twitch so that we can watch it if we want, and we don't watch it if we don't want, and then just post the VODs into the playlist. So again, we can watch it if we want, and we cannot watch it if we don't want. That's fine. I have no problem with doing that. Or if it's we don't want to see it, period, so don't even waste your time streaming it because we don't care. That's fine also. Or if it's just do it in episodic format, and however long it takes is however long it takes. Irregardless of that, I'm obviously not going to even bother starting the recruit 'em all until we've beaten the post game for multiple reasons. One, because the quote-unquote post game story is more important, and two, because I'll obviously want the friend bow, and I'll want myself to be as strong as possible to get the extra percentages for recruitment chances, of course, right? Alright, and there's Vileplume right there. Alright, let's see, so 6,600 for me. Just over 2,000 for Zoodlewood. Okay. So we're getting some good XP for Magnemite, I guess. I mean, we basically completed a level for him, because I believe we were at about 6,000 when we started today's episode. So that's cool. We basically completed a full level up for Magnemite today. And I'm sure I just got everybody confused and thinking I'm stupid because they're like, dude, you did level up today, so you obviously completed a level. But my logic for saying that is because since I'm at the same amount of XP basically that I was when the episode started towards my next level up, then, you know, if I would have been at like just a fresh XP amount from a fresh level, then I would have, you know, completed it still. That's kind of what I mean. I don't know. I'm weird, but yeah, guys, I do think this is a great place to wrap this part up. So in the next episode, we'll be doing a little bit more jobs, getting the rescue rank up, getting Magnemite and Zoodlewood some XP, and finishing preparations. Well, I shouldn't say finishing. Continuing preparations to go down to the Stormy Sea. So with that being said, if you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like down below. I'd greatly appreciate that. And click that subscribe button if you guys are new. And don't forget to click that little notification bell so you guys do get notified next time videos do go live on the channel. And with that, I will see you guys on my next episode. See you later, guys.